Hello, welcome. If you can't sleep, if you're up early, Merry Christmas. Merry Crisis? Merry Christmas. And look, what can I say? There's constitutional crises on the line. Donald Trump's refusing to sign the bill. And because of a particular confluence of circumstances, namely that one calendar year is ending and a new beginning, even if the bill has a supermajority of people, the bill to fund the government, the omnibus bill, which was combined with the COVID survival relief funds, into a big bill for the president to sign. And he is intimating very heavily that he won't sign it. If he doesn't sign it now, it would normally, there's just a 10-day window. If he doesn't sign it, then the bill just passes into law anyway. He has to either exercise his veto or sign the bill. But because there's a transition between 2020 and 2021, there's some rare circumstance called a pocket veto, whereby if he just doesn't sign it, doesn't veto it, it will just fade out of existence. And Congress didn't anticipate that he would not sign a bill to keep the government running and the bill to give people at least some down payment of survival funds so that they could exist and not be evicted and not contribute to economic collapse with their own personal individual financial ruin scaled up to affect millions of Americans. People apparently didn't anticipate that, so Trump has the power to cause the American economic situation to further deteriorate in a significant way. And it's not unprecedented for him. He already failed to sign a funding bill on Christmas Eve of 2018, causing the government to shut down at that time as well. And more broadly speaking, there's a failure to hold Trump and to hold Republicans to account that just passively enables them to keep wreaking harm on the American people. Hello. Yes, I would believe you that it's bad. Hospital ICU intensive care units are continuing to fill up to capacity or close to capacity levels in increasing numbers of counties across the United States. And this is a function of Trump and the Trump White House's purposeful disinformation campaign to help improve Trump's re-election chances by making some people believe that the pandemic was merely a fabrication from Democrats and Democratic scientists and the elite, purposely trying to bring about fascism via use of compelled mask mandates and compulsory vaccines, etc. And of course, the word fascism's got a lot of traction at the moment. It's in the air. People are talking about fascism because, of course, the Trump administration is very heavily fascist in inclination and action. Very fascist in terms of weaponizing, stigmatized, broad level stigmatization of certain minority groups, such as undocumented migrants and asylum seekers. Those people who have the legal right to seek asylum, but whose very persons and families have become targets for the Trump administration to wage war against in order to, as fascists typically do, wage war to exhibit what strong men they are, how they can tap into Jungian archetypes of powerful, no holds, take no prisoner approaches to safeguarding your personal health and safety. And if you're someone susceptible to fascist logic, then you are unduly concerned about your personal safety, status, and privilege, and you welcome the fascist overtures of purported strongmen. I think my children, are they too noisy for me to be doing this right now? Is it too distracting? Because I'm happy for them to be enjoying themselves. It's their Christmas day where I am. but Christmas morning for you if you're in the States. And yes, fascism in this instance was not strong enough to win a presidential election. Only the margins are quite small. There's 43,000 votes spread across various swing states, because in America, fascism has the electoral college system to help it. It has Russian willing complicity with help from adversarial foreign governments, such as the Russian government, even the Israeli government, which needs to be talked about because America does donate a significant amount of money to Israel. And Donald Trump has been a president who has denigrated not only Palestinians, but the interests of the Palestinian people, and advanced the political goals of the current corrupted Israeli government. And Benjamin Netanyahu was indicted for fraud for a reason. That dude will do anything to stay in power and away from legal accountability, similar to Trump. So I hope this has been a short but reasonably interesting broadcast. The point that I want to popularize in terms of understanding is that Trump can exercise a veto on a bill to fund the government, just so everybody knows why the government might shut down. And so everybody increases in their awareness and understanding that not only did Kevin McCarthy of the House Minority Leader, the Republican House Minority Leader, act to stymie a bill for checks for $2,000 to go out as survival funds to the American people, building on Trump's stated rationale for blocking the COVID survival relief package by saying, well, it's not enough. A $600 check's not enough. We need $2,000 checks each for Americans, so that people who are already the victims of a lot of pseudo-populist legislating by Republicans and a lot of pseudo-populist legislation blocking by Republicans, such as Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, people have gone, yes, I'm so desperate. I welcome $2,000. Thanks, Trump. You must be the good guy in this situation, because I keep hearing from media that Congress is to blame for holding up the funds. And when people in the media use that nebulous both sidesism to say Congress is holding up funds rather than be more honest and hold Republicans to account and say Mitch McConnell has been working against stimulus funds. Senator Kamala Harris proposed monthly $2,000 checks to the American people in May of 2020. And her efforts have been rebuffed. Everybody's efforts have been rebuffed, because Mitch McConnell was holding everyone hostage to his goal of trying to get corporate immunity on the table so that employers were not answerable to health and safety considerations around COVID. He's let go of that, but they managed to agree on a continuance of unemployment benefits for those people who are currently receiving unemployment benefits from the state. And look, there's still a lot of people who've fallen through the cracks who haven't been given state unemployment benefits due to purposeful roadblocks, usually put in the way by Republican governors and Republican state legislatures wanting to make it more difficult to get unemployment insurance, wanting to make it more difficult to obtain relief funding, because if they pay more people unemployment insurance, then the cost of running state government goes up and they need to raise taxes. They can't keep taxes low and keep advertising a faux argument, keep advancing a faux argument of how their states are doing so well because they have low tax rates. Low tax rates are associated in America with attractiveness to working people, but relatively crumbling infrastructure, including overly low remuneration rates for teachers, etc. So thank you. Merry Christmas to everyone. I'm glad the children are not making too much noise for you, but I will go join them. I think we'll go for a swim. I live in somewhere at the moment that's not America, that doesn't have high rates of community transmission, and I wear a mask in public, but we're allowed to go exercise outside without a mask, so we can swim. That's nice. I do really beg and hope for Americans to avoid indoor gatherings with large amounts of people, to not get COVID weary, to not be discouraged by video clips you can see of people doing the wrong thing, of Republicans having parties unmasked. Because if you watch those videos, it can make your sacrifice feel less worth it. But remember, those are small incidences, and it's a type of psychological warfare being waged against the American people, if you will, maybe a sort of culling in order to reduce American prosperity and make an underclass of Americans then more vulnerable to accepting or acquiescing to more serf-like conditions, where some people are like the wealthy landowners, the wealthy unaccountable landowners, and many more people will be forced into a position of needing to work in any type of conditions to keep making money for their wealthy landed gentry class, and they themselves stuck in conditions like the gig economy, where you might drive an Uber or pedal a bicycle around delivering wealthy people's food, but you won't have sick leave and you won't have holiday pay and you won't have time off if you're sick. Just more and more people being pushed out of the middle class, more and more people being pushed out of their homes, evicted, falling behind on their rent payments or mortgage payments, just more and more people pushed into financial hardship as a result of purposeful Republican legislating or purposeful Republican blocking of legislation. So that's just so important for me to help raise awareness of that, so that people know to be specific in who they call out for hurting the American people. Because without that specificity, we can't easily encourage voters to hold Republicans accountable at the polling booth. And it's really important to help, particularly in the non-Atlanta metropolitan regions of Georgia, to have turnout that exceeds the turnout rate, generally speaking, which is about 27% at the moment. We can do more. We can help Georgians more. We can make funny videos. We can write letters. We can put it out there into the common intellectual space of the internet that Georgia is the key to marginalizing Mitch's disturbingly destructive power over the United States. So marginalize Mitch, help out if you can with Georgia, not even necessarily in any obviously direct, concrete way. You can give money if you want, but if you want to write a letter, just write a letter to your local paper, because or write a post on your social media account about how you can see that Mitch McConnell is culpable for blocking relief to the American people, how Republican President Trump won't sign the bill that was at least going to deliver a $600 check for a starting gesture to help Americans who are suffering and to help the American economy not collapse in on itself through the crushing weight of so many people approaching the end of their unemployment checks, the end of their ability to hold the line for their families, for their households. So yes, hope that's helpful and inspirational to anybody, to put pen to paper, to keep articulating your knowledge and build on your knowledge. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be one of those irritatingly confident people. Just please be specific, because what helps them get away with hurting people is that dang you Congress attitude. That gives Republicans cover. It gives people of bad faith cover to keep causing harm. Thank you. That's all from me for today. Merry Crisis. Take care. Love your families. And remember, love can be done through a variety of mechanisms. Service people can tell you they've written letters to put their hearts in their pens or in their emails. There are many ways that you can reach out to let people know you care about them without putting people's lives in danger, without risking becoming a transmission link in a chain of viral transmission that tends to end up most badly damaging those people at the end of the line in captive communities such as prisons, nursing homes, care facilities, hospitals, etc. So be a hero this Christmas, protect those around you and those in your communities and those in your captive, voluntarily or involuntarily captive communities. Thank you. Hi, Alan. Oh, you just missed me. Take care. Talk to you again soon. Bye. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. And happy Hanukkah and happy holidays.